Welcome home, Raiders. This week, we'll tell you why the numbers 8, 30, and 16 are so important. The WoW team talks pristine servers. What the heck is that? Plus a StaCraft scandal and more. This is Convert to Raid number 216.
You're listening to Convert to Raid.
Convert to Raid.
The podcast for raiders in the World of Warcraft.
Podcast Power Station in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today is, what is it? April 26, 2016, and it's now 9:05 in the PM Central Time. Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Pat Crane. I'm your host of the Shindig. And as always, the players are here. First up, we'll go to, he's an adult with a job, and he had the tie on to prove it earlier, but, he still has it on. Okay, it's Sharko!
Yeah, my girlfriend said I had to wear a tie for the show. She had to start looking respectable. So
it's a very special show.
Yeah, there's a lot of news. There's a lot of stuff we missed last week. There's a lot of news last week.
I know.
And now it's even so...
I know.
We got a great show.
And by the way, I'm sorry for missing last week. You know, technical difficulties and all that happened mid-show, and so we had this guy on, our special guest, and he had to come back for another week of torture. From the Well Met podcast and from the Payload podcast, it's John Horseman. Hey, man.
Please don't break. Please don't break. Please.
Welcome back.
Please don't break.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Even though nobody saw you on the first time around. You know, because we couldn't get the show out.
People in the chat room that day that saw the first 5 minutes of the show.
That's true. And so, we had about 15 minutes of the last show, and then my PC went completely bonkers, dropped out audio, and then the video got messed up, and then I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And when that happens, sometimes you just see red. And that's kind of where I was at after about a half hour of trying to figure it out. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to calm down now and grab a beverage. Because you got to do that sometimes. And
you got to do it.
Yeah. So, hi, fellas.
Hey.
And welcome back, everybody out there. And so sorry for our week off last week. Because there was actually a lot of news, and we're going to cover it today. And I know that you guys already know why 8/30/16 is so very important, and I already know that you guys tried to get BlizzCon tickets, and hopefully you got them. But what else has been going on with you guys in the world of Blizzard? And I'm going to start out with Shark. What have you been up to, bud?
Well, we've been raiding still. I do, in fact, still play World of Warcraft and raid in it. To hardcores actually had, if you had have asked me last week, we were just coming off a real bad week. We were trying to do some progression. We didn't get any progression kills and was actually struggling on some of our farm bosses. It was not a good week. I ended up even calling raid a little bit early, being like, I'm tired and frustrated of dealing with you folks.
I know those
nights. It was an off week, and we were all like, womp womp. And then this week, we jumped in. We were missing one of our main tanks. We only had one tank, so we hugged out a tank out of the CTR LFG channel on Airy Peak.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody came in. They're like, yeah, I'm like I level 730 something. We're like, yeah, come on in, Mythic Geared Tank. You can help us out with our heroic progression.
Right.
So they come in, and long story short, and we two-healed most of the night, too, because we were missing healers.
Oh, boy.
We downed 2 new bosses, downed all the way to Archimond. We are now 12 of 13 heroic.
Nice.
All after that off week. So yeah, we did a lot of work last week, and to help us get now, we got carried a little bit on Manaroth. We had actually, I think a few folks from Alone, the Alone Guild, had come in at one point. People had friends, and we wanted to down him, and we're like, yeah, let's just get a couple carries in here. So we had a couple pretty strong guys. But I mean, if we didn't have a strong team, 3 carries wouldn't have made much.
And by the way, for those guys that don't know, Olone on the Airy Peak server is the number 1 guild on the server.
Yeah,
so.
they're the server first guys, and they're really great guys. Good.
They are.
Guild and good friends of the show. So
they're awesome.
Yeah, they came in. We had a good time. But yeah, all the way down to mythic. Or not mythic, heroic mana.
Not mythic, no.
So now we just need to. I have not gotten my moose yet. I didn't do any of the CTR moose runs. I didn't do any of that stuff. I've killed heroic Archimon, but before the moose patch.
See, now I was in the beta of that when Convert to Mythic team was doing
trying that. Yeah,
and I said, well, we need to check it out with some friends first to make sure that we know that we can do this thing really well. And
right.
I said, hey, I'm available on a Sunday night, sure. And then they went, here's your moose. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna do it, but I decided I have faith in my team. I'm not gonna buy a moose run. I'm not going to try out friendship moose. I am going to wait until my team gets our Archie kill.
Team Moose.
I have faith that our team will get that kill before it's up. So we're doing that. But yeah, that's what I'm doing in game, and then just here, there, and everywhere with other Blizzard stuff. But yeah, I'm sure we'll talk more about that. Playing a lot of Hearthstone today. I wonder.
Everybody's playing a lot of Hearthstone today. New expansion came out, and it's perfect timing, actually, because John Horseman, you have a podcast called Well Played, and that happens to be a Hearthstone podcast. You also have
Well Played,
the Payload, which is an Overwatch one, right?
Yeah.
So, so what else, John? We talked a little bit about last week, and you explained what you do and who you are and all that stuff to the wonderful Twitch audience, but of course nobody ever heard that outside of Twitch, so maybe we could go over it again.
Yeah, you got it. I'm always better the second time through anyway.
Right. So what's up with you? Who are you, buddy?
All right, well, hi everybody, I'm John. I've been here for
wrong meeting.
Different Tuesday night.
Right.
So I do Well Met and the Payload. We talk about Hearthstone and Overwatch. It's great stuff.
That's over on Blizz Pro.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
And I also do quite a bit of streaming and things like that. But, ultimately pretty simple, pretty boring dude who really likes to talk about video games.
Awesome.
And really likes to hang out and chat podcasts and Blizzard games and all that kind of stuff. So
right. And you were like a top raider and all this other kind of stuff, right? So I mean you've been around. Okay, fair. So yeah, my gaming history, I played Halo on the MLG circuit from when I was 17 to 19, Halo 2. And then I was a world top 25 Shadow Priest in Cataclysm during 4.3. Mm-hmm.
And then now I play a obscenely unhealthy amount of Hearthstone and Overwatch.
And how many packs of the new expansion do you have to open up?
So right after the show, we're going to be streaming and doing 100. I've got at least 109 packs
that
I'm going to be opening. At least I'm prepared to drop down another 50,
Right.
If Katie, my girlfriend, lets me.
She won't.
She's okay with postponing date night a night so that I can get a nice golden legendary. Won't happen. It won't happen. Let's be honest. But a guy can dream, right?
No. Right. Well, I just want to tell you, I opened up 58 packs earlier today, or this afternoon, and I only got 2 legendaries. One of which was cool because it was the new whatchamacallem, dang it, now I forgot. Now I got to check my Twitch feed. But I got one cool one and one that I'm not so sure about, and I'll tell you about that. Maybe when we talk about the actual expansion in the Battle.net news, we can talk more about what I actually got, because I can't remember right now.
I opened a card. It was orange.
Yeah, I remember it was
the innkeeper yelled, got all excited,
shining gold, and they said legendary. And then I went, oh, whatever. so yeah, one of them was Yogg-Saron, Hope's End.
Nice.
Which is cast a random spell. For each spell you've cast this game, targets chosen randomly, and that one goes in the question mark file, right? And the other one was Deathwing Dragonlord.
The fun pile.
Yeah, if I want a random deck, that would be random. That would be great. The other one is Deathwing Dragonlord, which is the one you put it out, and the death rattle is all of your dragons come out from your deck. So that's pretty awesome.
That's a really cool card. Congrats.
It's not bad. That one's good. The other one is like, I don't know. I don't know what that one's going to do. I guess we'll just find out. So, I don't know. So, let's talk a little bit before we actually get into the news part of the news. I just want to talk about BlizzCon because BlizzCon was a thing, and this week it was really a big thing, right? Ticket madness, both Wednesday and Saturday. Tickets are now sold out for BlizzCon. Boo-hoo, right? Now, John, you actually got tickets, right?
Yes, I did.
Nice. Way to go. Here.
Be my second one.
There you go. So looking forward to seeing you. How was the process for you?
It was really great. Jules Scott. No, not Jules. It wasn't Jules. JR actually got 4 because I was working, and he got him. He was in and out.
Oh, so you didn't even have to go through the whole website thing or anything.
I just
like that.
pay people. If you guys want to get me BlizzCon tickets, I will pay you. Right. That's it. You know, that's it.
Yeah. And Shark, you're not going this year. Is that correct?
No, man. I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm poor.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
Been this is the first BlizzCon I'll miss in 4 years. I went to the last 3. Yeah. But it happens. It
does.
It's sad. I know this is the 25th anniversary, so I feel like Blizzard's going to have a big announcement, but I have no idea what it could possibly be. So that's another thing that I'm like, oh, I want to be there for whatever it is.
Like that.
Or maybe it won't be an announcement. They'll just be pulling the plug in all their old games. We're like, we're not doing any of this anymore.
Right.
We're only doing Overwatch now.
Wow. That'd be a switch. We'd have to really change the format of this show.
I've got some weird salt going on today. I think it's just BlizzCon sadness. I do. I'm really sad that I'm not going to get to go this year.
I have a new salt video that I'm going to show the stream right now.
Here it is.
I'm going to just show this for the stream.
That's how I feel very much.
All right. Well,
but yeah,
that was me. That was me dictating for the audio listeners.
Right. If you're just listening to the show, you might want to just pop into the video just real quick to see that, because that is pretty gross.
Suggests that I open a credit card.
Open up a new credit card? Yeah.
Just open up a credit card, max it out on BlizzCon, and then forget about it.
I was actually incredibly impressed with how affordable I thought BlizzCon was until I ran up a $700 bar tab over 3 days.
Oh God!
Right. Over at the Hilton. Over at the Hilton bar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Last year,
I was like, oh, that's why it's so expensive.
Right.
Last year, the phrase of the weekend was, "We've got liquor at the hotel." We've got liquor at the hotel.
Yeah,
but you've got to go there and have a couple drinks at the Hilton bar, and
you do. It's, I mean, and really,
I'm so sad I'm not gonna get to go.
That is kind of the thing with BlizzCon. Even if you don't have tickets, I mean, you can still go. You can still have a good time because. The Hilton bar is always packed, and there's always tons of stuff to do outside of BlizzCon. So even if you didn't get a ticket, hopefully we might see you. Who knows? We still plan on doing a party this year. We plan on doing that again. The Well Played party last year was a great success, and so there's no real info on it yet. We're gonna. I was talking with Jules Scott, and she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna get the Kickstarter out probably June." So be looking for that in June. We'll have more information for you then, but it would be essentially the same. We're looking at that Friday night after that first day of BlizzCon. And so we can talk about all the new stuff that's going to be happening and get people totally psyched up. I mean, everybody's going to be psyched anyway. Doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
You don't have to work at that very hard. Not at all.
The hype train is already there.
The hype train is on.
You just gotta get on.
If you guys still want to get tickets, however, you can just pony up $750 a ticket for that benefit dinner. I know.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, just
the way.
if instead of paying the $200, just go for the $750. And but it is a benefit. It does go toward the Children's Hospital of Orange County, which is a cool charity. So I mean, that's good at least.
And there's food.
Yeah, there's food, and
There's
hopefully
food.
and hopefully
It's a charity
chairs.
dinner.
Hopefully chairs. I know that
Chairs.
a couple of years ago they ran out of chairs.
I heard about that.
I don't know about last year. I can't
I don't
remember
know,
last year.
$800 a ticket, and you have to stand the whole time.
Yeah, and stand the whole time. And
Oh, you
stand
wanted
there
a
eating
chair? That one's
talking to-
$1,000, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry.
talking to J. Allen Brack, just standing in a corner somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's pretty good. So there's that. One other thing before we get into the news. Speaking of the well-played parties. We also have one coming up in June 11th for the movie. We've got one for the Minnesota meetup that's going to be here in Minneapolis, in town, or outside of Minneapolis, actually. And tickets are still available. If you guys are interested, June 11th, we're going to watch the movie in the morning. Tickets are free. Just go to wellplayedparty.com and you can check it out, all the details out and everything like that. But we're planning a whole weekend around it. It's going to be fun. John, you said that you might come up.
I'm going to do everything that I can
right.
to come up. I'm coming up in 2 weeks, and
Okay.
then I'm going to do everything I can to be there.
Are we going to hang out in
Again.
2 weeks?
I hope so.
All right.
I
Cool.
hope so.
All right.
I will be there.
All right. Well, you just let me know when you're in town. We'll hook
I
up.
will.
All right.
We my goal is to come in June, but since you just kind of changed the fine print there and tell me now it's slightly outside of Minneapolis, I'm not so sure.
It's not that you couldn't get a ride, dude. Don't worry. I'd have to go through Minneapolis anyway to get there.
All right, fine. Fine.
So
Done.
we're
I'll
good.
be there.
We're good.
I'll be there.
All right. So you
you
guys
pick
could
me
be there
up?
too. Just go to wellplayedparty.com, all that kind of fun stuff, and check out all the latest on it. And, whoop! Sorry, that was a mishit on the buttons.
Whoa.
Oh wow! That's the old spoiler.
What was
that was
that?
Sorry.
That's the old
sorry
spoiler
about that.
siren.
Yeah.
That's if you have a spoiler, then we have the alert for it.
I don't live in a very safe neighborhood, Pat. That's not very nice.
I'm very sorry.
I dropped to the ground.
I'm
Had me
very
looking
sorry.
around for a bit.
I'm very sorry. Instead, why don't we go to the Raiden News?
Calling all raiders from around World of Warcraft land. This is Raiding News.
Damn, that was funny. All right, it's time to check out what's happening in the news for Raiders around World of Warcraft. And up first, the numbers 8, 30, and 16 are very important because Legion falls August 30th of this year. And for that, I also have big applause. Awesome. I'm glad that the date was finally announced.
Yeah.
However, I do have the Salt video ready because I know that there is some Salt for this with other players on the forums. Guys, what are your thoughts on August 30th? I know that some people were thinking it was going to be July. I didn't hold out hope for July. I was like, I don't know. John?
It is a bit later than I expected, but at the same time, when Blizzard says summer, they mean the tail end of summer. That's Blizzard dating, and so I'm pretty used to it. I kind of expected it. It does give me all summer to get caught up just in time for everything to change, which is nice.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I guess it's okay. It's okay. I'm not wild about it, but then again, for me, the expansions had never come soon enough.
Right.
And I don't know if Blizzard could honestly change that. So for me, it's always just being able to sit back in my comfy chair and say, it's going to be okay. August 30th, we'll get here. And then we'll all be happy and be glad that we waited, because in the end, the expansions have always been great.
Right.
Especially those first couple weeks. And so I trust them for that.
I think that this particular time around, it seems like it's okay for me, because there are other things that are going on in the Blizzard realm that are amazing. We have a new expansion for Hearthstone. We have Season 6 coming for Diablo. We've got Overwatch coming in just a week, right? So, I mean, the early access is coming in a week, and the other stuff is opening up in, May 24th. And so, I mean, there's a lot of different things to explore if you are into all of those games. However, if you are solely a WoW player, it's been a little tough. So, Shark, what are your thoughts?
I feel similar. It's I'm frustrated, Pat.
Okay.
I'm frustrated. But now I'm not too surprised by the date. I expected, my prediction was late July, early August was what I was saying. And so a couple weeks off, 2 or 3 weeks off of what my prediction was. Not that big of a deal, but it's just, I feel like I guess what I'm saying is you're saying the right thing as far as Blizzard's putting out a lot of content this summer, right? We're getting Overwatch in a few weeks. We're getting the movie, the Warcraft movie, something we've been talking about and waiting for 3 years, right? We're getting, and then we're getting Legion betas to come out. More people are going to get in the beta. We get beta testing going on, and then they're going to have the drop of Legion at the end of the summer. We just today got a new Hearthstone expansion.
Right.
Like, they're putting out tons of content, but it does make me sad and miss the days, reminisce of the days where it was just Warcraft. I know. There was StaCraft and Diablo 3, and that was one thing, but it was really just Warcraft.
Right.
And you were there with your friends and you ran the content, and then when that was done, you're sitting there just ready for the next thing. And you were usually having to wait for a pretty long time, but Blizzard did kind of come out, at least talk about stuff, have more things to drop.
Wasn't it a few years ago when Ian Hazukosta said something along the lines of, we want to churn these things out faster?
What a mistake.
I know.
What a mistake.
There have been lots of communication blunders, but I think that this is one of those that will kind of always echo through time as the expansion kind of comes to a close, and the next one is, we're waiting for the next one is, one of the devs said that they wanted them to kick out faster. Yeah. Guess what? That's not happening because
players wanted something. The devs confirmed it and said, yes, we're doing that thing. And then it didn't happen. As a matter of fact, it got worse and worse. It's the worst it's ever been. They put out 2 patches for this expansion.
Right.
2 patches. They did. Compared to at least 4 or 5 in the others that we've had so far.
Yep.
Or at least 3. But 2 patches, only 2 raid tiers. This is the first time we've only had 2 raid tiers. I was frustrated about that when it hit, and everybody's like, oh, it'll be fine. It's fine. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's what they're going to bring out Legion faster. That's why but they didn't. It's been the same amount of time. So it's just been very frustrating for the player base. And I think that if Blizzard expects for WoW to hold steady is the term I'm going to use.
Sure.
If I know that they don't expect, I mean, I think they were up around 10 million again when Warlords launched.
Yep.
Was a big number. I don't think they're going to get above where they were in Lich King ever.
No.
And I don't think they expect to do that.
No.
But if they're going to hold this game strong and keep the subscriber base that they have, they're losing a lot of hardcore fans, a lot more than I thought. This is the first time that I've ever been playing this game where I've been frustrated enough and considered not playing anymore.
Right. Sure.
And that's a big thing. Maybe part of it's growing up or whatever, but I don't think it's all growing up. I think it's the fact that I've come to expect a certain thing. And I mean, I guess I know, the story ends at one point, but
sure,
I've said enough about it. I guess it's just, it's just, we'll talk about the private server they closed down here in a minute.
Well,
I would know some news on that. Maybe not.
More salt.
But it's one of those things. It's more salt. It's later, everybody. That nostalgia we desire, we crave that nostalgic thing, and we don't have it anymore. And I'm having problems dealing with that, and it seems to me a lot of other people are having problems dealing.
Yes.
Fact that the world's changing.
John.
Yeah, jump in, John. I've been talking.
Can I jump in? I'm going to jump in here because don't get me wrong. I completely get where the community is coming from in this.
Mm-hmm.
There is one thing that holds true, though, that I do disagree with in Shark is that I do not think that their content pacing is the problem. I really don't. I mean, I think that if Blizzard puts out great content, it doesn't matter how long it takes, people will come back. And so in the end, when you're kind of going, okay, do we bring it out a little bit sooner, or do we take a little bit longer, but we'll be able to do this and it's going to be really great content, and it might even be slow at first. People might, not be trusting of that, and they sit back and they don't resub and they don't jump in when the new expansion hits. And then all of a sudden, one of their friends who is playing goes, "Hey, Shark, the new stuff's great. It's really good. You need to check it out." And you're kind of like, "Oh, all right. Yeah, you'll go back." In the end, there are a few things that, Blizzard has done, I think, pretty well. Number one, when they launch an expansion, their content has been incredible. Absolutely incredible. That first patch is almost always amazing. And yes, it doesn't help when they take too long. If they take too long, you're right, they do lose people. They lose that trust. And yeah, that's kind of annoying. At the same time, the company that I work for, I won't say who it is, but they're a company who is very much a perfection company. And they've rushed a couple products to market in the past. And in the end, people got it when they want it, but they didn't get what they want.
I don't think you can call 14 months or whatever it is rushing, however. I think I do agree with you on product, but I won't agree with you on the thing where timing doesn't matter, because
it does matter.
It totally does matter. It totally matters, because you need people in the game in order to appreciate what is new in the game. Otherwise, you're just going to leave and they're not going to come back. And that's always like the big downer, right? I mean, if people don't come back, then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, and I think my point too has a lot to do with expectation.
Sure, sure.
We've had every expansion has gone a very similar route. It's never been the exact same thing, but we've always had 3 raid tiers. We've always had sort of guess. I mean, I know even when I was first listening to the show that you guys would always have your predictions on when the new patch was going to drop, or when the new raid tier was going to drop, when the new expansion was going to be announced, because you could put money on it. You could predict that. We can't do that now. It's been 14 months without anything, and my wager is that, like I said, I don't know anything or have any special source or anything, but I feel like the guys at Blizzard that are on the WoW team aren't necessarily happy with how long it's taken to put Legion out.
I can guarantee that they're not happy.
Yeah, they wanted to put it out a long time ago, and they expected for it to have been out a long time ago.
There may have been, and I don't know this for sure, there may have been some issues because of the movie, because of what the problems that the movies brings. And they probably were like, you know what, they've announced this movie, and they put it for, because initially it was for December of this year, right?
Yeah.
December last year. So it was
December of last year.
Fight with,
it would have been the same time.
And then it was spring, and then it was, and now it's June. So it's kind of one of those things where I'm guessing that may have played some kind of part in it. I'm not sure, but I
think that has less to do with the movie, or the movie has less to do with it.
Sure, but I think that may have been like one consideration.
Maybe. I think, and I heard this the other day. I think somebody was on my raid team was talking about it. I wonder if the collapse of Titan didn't have more to do with it too. The emotional and I think we're going to bring up that video. They talk about Overwatch coming out of the wreckage of Titan, right? And I wonder if there wasn't like an emotional just cloud that's just
so long ago, though. That was so long ago.
It was so. But wouldn't they have been working on Legion then? I mean, WoD was released or about to release.
Yeah,
they would have been
at
at least
really. Not
I feel like
not like full time.
I think it's an interesting thing. Not full in, but right. I wonder how much that once they put all of their energy in this one project they all thought was going to be cool. And you can watch the video we'll talk about a little bit later. Medicine, they don't talk about Titan specifically, but they talk about a little bit about what was going on, and basically it was a huge project that everybody really wanted to work on, and it just didn't work, and it kind of.
This episode of WoW Conspiracies is brought to you by.
It's not WoW Conspiracy. It was not the thing. But anyway, I wonder if those emotions and that kind of when you have a big failure like that, I wonder if it didn't come into play, and maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm stretching. But
I think in the end they wanted to get some great content there. They kept going, well, let's add one more thing. Let's add one more thing. And all of a sudden they're rewriting and redoing a lot of what's fundamentally part of WoW. And that takes time.
Right.
And you've got things that take time. And again, you can, quote unquote, rush it, or you can try to, shorten the timetable, or, okay, let's keep some of these for the first patch and, have a half-baked expansion, but that's just not how Blizzard does things. And for people who are fans of Blizzard, there shouldn't be too much of a surprise. Yes, this is the longest it's ever been, but we've lost over what's the subscriber count at now? Like 6 million?
Nobody knows.
Yeah,
because they're not saying. They're not saying.
They haven't released.
Oh, that's right. They're not. The last time they said was what, 7?
It was like 5 something or something.
Yeah, it was like 5,
so
and I'm
6
sure it's
probably
dropped since then.
Yeah.
So 4 million people have changed from playing the game to not, and vice versa. Like that would cause me to take a step back and go, okay,
that's what they did. I mean, during Warlords, they went, how about next expansion? Let's just work on that one.
Yeah, let's throw this out. Let's stop. Yeah, and that might be another thing.
Right.
They saw how much negative attention Warlords was getting, and they said, you know what, screw it. Let's forget the next year. Let's move straight on to the next expansion.
There are many beautiful things about Warlords of Draenor, but the outcry was not popular. And
I think overall the player base would not consider Warlords one of their favorite tiers.
Right.
At one point in time, I had a lot of fun playing Warlords, and I think the raid content is really, really great.
I think there are a lot of awesome things about Warlords. I really
do. Questing content, amazing questing content.
Yeah,
there are some things that are not great, but there are some amazing things in Warlords. But anyway, moving on. As long as we have this going on, we had some questions from our audience, from our listeners, and let's just go to some of these. Pangerban says, is there anything in Warlords that each of you guys want to finish? Anything you want to finish? John, you actually just kind of kicked up again, right?
Yeah, so I just resubbed this week. I just got all my Trade Skill Master stuff reset up now that gold cap is changing. And so so I'm gold capped on 2 tunes, and so I want to continue to get gold capped, and it's a lot more hard. So I'm like, I'm going to get back into it and get going. So I resubbed and did the Iron Docks quest, and I streamed it last night.
Yeah. And
people were like, have you not played this content yet? And it's like, no, we haven't played this content yet. Dang, chat, get off me.
Right.
And so, but it was, so all of it is the answer to the question.
Your chat becomes violent because you're opening up the docks.
And I didn't know where I was going. And I was like trying to interact with chat, and like running into the huge giants on the dock. And they're like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, no, oh my God, I'm dead.
Right. Right, exactly.
Who dies during the intro quest to a patch? This guy right here.
That guy.
Former world top 25 Shadow Priest can't kill a level 102 mob.
Former top 25 guy, current idiot.
Current.
Right?
It's not what I did. Right. It's what I'm doing.
Right, exactly. Shark, other than the Archimon mount, other than your Moose mount, what do you want to get out of the rest of Warlords before it kicks?
I don't know. I mean, I'm having fun raiding with the hardcore still.
Good.
We're going to really the goal is that Moose mount, and once we get that, maybe farm around a little bit, or just go back and do some mythics. Mm-hmm. Maybe start working on achievements in some of the older the first tier stuff. But yeah, we'll see.
Awesome.
We'll see everything that comes out. Really, what's been keeping me in the game, I know there was another question earlier that's similar about What are we what do we do until Legion drops? What's been keeping me going? I've been playing a lot more, and it's because I'm going back and doing all achievements and doing mount runs, going on all my tunes. The mount collecting is a big thing for me now. Like I've found new life in the game for me by going and doing that old stuff and like, is
cool.
that Onyxia mount going to drop?
Awesome.
Which I don't know if I told that story on this show or not, but when I took Hannah in to get her Onyxia mount, she's like, I want more mounts. I'm like, well, we can run Onyxia. It's really quick and easy, and it drops a mount. She's like, okay, let's do that. We went in there. The first time she's ever been in there, it dropped for her.
Of course. That's what always happens.
She's over here going, yeah!
Yay, me!
The first time. Other people have run it, hundreds, maybe 1,000 times and never got the mount to drop. And it drops for her the first time. So hate my girlfriend, everybody. I do.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You're fine. All right, let's move it along to another thing that popped up this week, and it's kind of a flavor of the week thing. We talked about the Nostalrius server being shut down. This is the legacy server, the one that was running vanilla or BC WoW, and it had like all the original things. WoW came in, stepped in, and they said, "Hey, guys, that's our game, and we can't have you guys giving it away." And so they said, take it down. And the Nostalrius guys were like, well, we got to take it down. So they did. And this week, J. Allen Brack took to the forums through Nethera and talked about all the other things. And one of the things that he said was, we have been discussing classic servers for years here at Blizzard. It's a topic every BlizzCon, and especially over the past few weeks. Some of our current thoughts are, we explored options for developing classic servers, and none could be executed without difficulty. So they were thinking about it. If we could just push a button and all this would be created, we would. Whoa. But they're not going to, because they can't. Because it's hard. So what can we do to capture the nostalgia of when WoW first launched? Over the years, we have talked about a pristine realm. In essence, one that would turn off all leveling acceleration, including character transfers, heirloom gear, character boosts, recruit a friend bonuses, WoW token, and access to cross-realm zones. So just basically a blank server. It'd be the same game, essentially, just without the easy stuff. Without the easy button. So, guys, do you think that this would be enough for those guys that are looking for a different WoW experience? And John, I'm going to throw it to you, buddy. What do you think?
I don't. I honestly, I really don't think that that's what the community is looking for. I really think they're looking for true vanilla servers because of, there's definitely the part of people who just want to play it because it's free.
Yeah.
But there's also people who really do appreciate the nostalgia of something that they were a part of. And so I honestly think it was like, hey, that game we have now, let's just make it really hard to do that. And I think I think Blizzard's trying to read in and be like, we want the game to be harder or more challenging or, whatever it is kind of, you can run up from 1 to 100 in like 24 hours if you're fully heirloomed out.
I know. I think you can do it. I think you can do it in like 2 seconds if you really wanted to. I mean,
or 2 seconds, 24 hours, 2 seconds. I mean, really close. Yeah. Same thing.
24 seconds.
24
seconds.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think it's what people are asking for. And so even if they did do that, I don't see it being very popular. And I see it being a compromise that I don't see anybody winning. I see people still wanting the nostalgia and, honestly, the old crappy graphics and all those different things. And Blizzard saying, well, hey, let's take out all the things that has made WoW, semi-bearable while you spend 4 hours between levels from 50 to 60. Just the biggest annoyance in the world. So no, I really don't think it's what people are looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Shark, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. I think they missed the point with the idea of the pristine realm because what they want is the play style of the old servers. They want their old talent trees. They want They
the
want
old talent trees.
They want the old talent trees. They want.
I want to be bearcatting again.
You buff this before you nerf this.
I want 2% more
I can guarantee
on my Frostbolt, please.
Yeah, I will. I can guarantee there are a couple mages out there that want to go back to 1-2-1-2. I mean, you could back during that patch of Lich King, you could face roll, and just all you do is spam one button and win.
That's funny. One of the guys in the CTR guild, his name is 1212.
Yeah, 112. Yeah.
Well, yeah, 112. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's spelled WUN. 112. I love it.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's fun. But yeah, I think that's what people want. And part of me feels like it's like going back and playing Pokemon Blue or Red. You know what I mean? Right. There's that nostalgia factor. It's the same game. It's always been the same. And you can play the new stuff, but sometimes you just want to play the old stuff, because you like it better, or there's this nostalgia or whatever. But the other side of me understands the business side of what's going on. And yes, Blizzard has to protect their IP.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate for people that found out a way to be able to hook up the private servers and to have a community that way. And but I understand, I cannot blame a company for wanting to protect their IP. And in the same way, the other thing is, well, why don't they just do it themselves then?
Right.
Like they said, I don't think they said they couldn't do it without great difficulty. This might make people not like them more, but I feel like behind that is we couldn't do it and make it worth the cost.
Sure. Well, and there's definitely that. I mean, come on.
We wouldn't be getting Legion until January.
Right. Exactly.
No.
They'd be putting man. Yeah. But they would be. I mean, maybe that's an exaggeration, but they would be putting manpower in other areas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm sure that they would probably get Legion out first because that's got to be more in demand.
And
now,
would
especially.
it be? How many people would resubscribe to be able to play the old content? I don't know, but I'm sure they wouldn't stay resubscribed for long.
No. I don't think
so. Yeah, it's not in their business model. It's not something I really applaud them, because they are trying to do something. This idea, I think the Pristine Realm idea is a bad one, but at least they're trying. They're listening to the base. I think they understand that people are upset, and they want to do what's best for them and their player base. And they've never, ever, even once seemed to me like a company that just doesn't care. Right. I think they genuinely care more about their player base.
You wouldn't know that if you just read the forums, though.
No,
especially the responses to everything that they throw up.
Yeah, but folks like you and me, and we're not in any way. Blizzard has very little to do with this show, if I'm correct. Other than we just love Blizzard games.
They have nothing to do with this show. They're not a part of it at all.
Anything. We know people that work for Blizzard. We have met them and this and that, but no different than anybody else. And that's why we say positive things about them, because we have met these people. I assure you, if I ever met anybody from Blizzard that I disagreed with or had an argument with or anything, I'd let you know on the show, because I think it would be interesting podcasting. So far, that hasn't happened.
That's the whole thing. It's just all about the show.
Absolutely. It's all about, hey, I'm an actor. It's showbiz.
Right.
But yeah, it's so I don't want people to think that we're like, trying to just be super nice to Blizzard. But I get it.
Well,
I also understand why people are upset. And I think Blizzard does too.
I think the thing that you need to say is we're fans of Blizzard. We definitely are. And it's like you wouldn't be doing a podcast if you weren't a fan. So you always have you always think of, like, I always think of like the best intentions and stuff like that. Sure. Are there some things that are questionable? Maybe. But that is also a business choice. And this is one of those business choices that I just don't think makes any sense for them whatsoever. I mean, they might be able to do that. And that would be kind of a cool thing for a very small percentage of people to go through and not have the easy button in one of these pristine servers. But I can't see it lasting necessarily very long. Or if it does, it's going to be like one server out of, the 100 servers that they have. Yeah. And so
the one thing I think that some people skim over too is it's kind of where then do you draw the line for this? Because I mean, in the end, honestly, vanilla servers aren't cannibalizing WoW. They're not losing business, but all of a sudden now we have a Burning Crusade server up, and then we have the one after and the one after, and like where does that point where people are playing too current of content to like eventually pull it away? Is it different? What if it's up to MOP? So you could play everything except Legion now on a pirated server for free.
We're going deep down this rabbit hole here.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing,
Right.
though, is at the end of the day, it's not just like protecting the IP because there will be people who take that, you give an inch, like, okay, we're okay with this, and we just find that line until they're not okay, and it's done.
Right.
And so we're not going to have MOP servers. That's not what I'm saying, but it is an important thing to protect your intellectual property.
Sure.
Even when you're a company as big as Blizzard with as much money as they have, and there's something out there that in itself, but on its own, isn't really affecting things, but it does change the way your company is perceived, and it also changes the way that people treat your products and what they can do with them in the future. And Blizzard is one of the most gracious with their products. Like, the intro to this show is all clips of cinematics and things like that. And the fact that you're able to do that, for the video show, is all cinematics, and you can use all that stuff because you're making Blizzard content.
Right.
And so, that's really amazing. And so I think that's an important point and distinction to make too.
No, it makes sense. Where do you draw the line in their sand? And they drew the line in their sand there and said, no, you
cut
can't.
It off at the head.
We're not going to do anything.
We're not going to let our game go away. It's like,
were I on their legal team, I would have made the exact same choice there.
Sure.
Or a suggestion.
Sure.
Absolutely. I think they made the right choice.
Sure. I still wish that they would have done the idea that I thought of probably about 3 or 4 months ago to when they started WoW, which was to have level 1 through 60 all by itself as one package, and have the next expansions all independent of each other, so that you'd go through Burning Crusade and you get like 10 levels of Burning Crusade, whatever it is, and you'd be able to do all the end game there. And then Wrath comes out and you go, okay, well, I'm going to go over to Wrath now. You start at Wrath at level 60. You're still level 60, but you're going through Wrath and you have 10 levels of Wrath levels, just Wrath levels. And then you can play endgame there. You can play endgame BC. It's all the same. You're at max. You're at max level. I wish they would have done that, but they didn't.
What?
Yeah, it's a very confusing thing, I know.
And I'm sure, and it's another one of those things. If they could press a button and do it, then maybe they'd try. But
John's very confused.
I don't think a lot of this stuff. Well, I have the same problem with Heroes of the Storm. John.
Okay, so John, imagine this, if you will.
Okay.
If you will. You go through 1 through 60. You max out at level 60. You're doing all the raid content at level 60. Right.
With all my vanilla talents?
That's right. The talents can change whatever. I mean, I don't really care about that. That's not so much.
Fine.
That's not so big of a deal. But you start out Burning Crusade, you're at level 60. You go through Burning Crusade, you're still level 60 plus then 10 Burning Crusade points, whatever it is. And so you're maxed out in Burning Crusade. So you're rating Burning Crusade and your max level for that thing. Then it comes to Wrath. You come back out of BC. You go into Wrath. You're level 60 with no Wrath points. So then you go through Wrath and you build up 10 Wrath points, whatever it is.
Okay.
So that
Wrath points instead of levels beyond 60.
Right, exactly. So that was my whole thing that I think I talked about that on the show a few weeks ago. I'm not sure if
my brain hurts.
I'm not sure if I talked about it on the show or not. I wish they would have done something like that, and I know that I over-explained it, so we'll move on to something else. Let's actually move on to the BattleNet news, because I really want to... There's a lot of stuff going on. Whoop, dang it! I did it again!
I'm down,
I did it again!
I'm down.
Spoiling.
Oh, that's a thing. That's going to be a thing. I got to move that over a little bit. All right, now... sorry, everybody. We'll go into the BattleNet news.
Wake up, chat. Wake up.
Oh, damn it. When we can, we take a look at the big headlines around the rest of the Blizzard universe, and we have a lot of big things going on around the rest of the Blizzard universe. That one I did for real.
Okay.
All right. Hearthstone, Whispers of the Old Gods is now available. And for that... There. All right. So I opened up 58 packs of Old God stuff, and I got 2 legendaries. And John, you're doing 109
Congrats.
packs, and you're going to get one legendary. You're going to get one.
Well, you know what, sir?
I'm kind of a negative
I
Nelly
didn't
right
come
now.
here to be, invited to your table and then have the food just thrown in my face. That's not what I came here for. I'm opening up 12 legendaries, and you're going to count every one of them. I'm going to tweet every single one to you.
Oh,
every
awesome.
single one.
Awesome. I love that. I can't wait to see all the different cards that you get and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of fun though. And Shark, have you seen the Old Gods packs? Have you?
I got 20 decks.
Awesome.
Or 20 packs.
20 decks.
20 decks. 20 packs. And I got Cho'Gall, the legendary that I got.
Ooh, awesome.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool.
So
very nice.
Warlock legendary Cho'Gall.
That's
it
cool.
seems like when we did the grand tournament, we did a pack opening and I opened up about 100. I actually pulled 11 legendaries and
Wow.
Kevin pulled 9 or 10. So it feels like, because Pat, it sounds like your experience has been about the same for most people, where they're getting about 1 to 2 per 40 to 50 packs.
Okay.
And it seems really low. I'm trying to, maybe I'm just not remembering it right, but I could have swore I opened up way more legendaries in the grand tournament than I'm about to tonight. But
Right.
I might open a lot. You guys just might be really unlucky.
Yeah. Well, I got a lot of dust out of the thing, so I'm okay with that. I mean, I think I got like 2,000 dust or something like that. I mean, it was something ridiculous. But I saw a lot of the same cards. I mean, a lot of the same ones were popping up. I mean, but you get those because those are, common cards. You see those pop up all the time. And so I was going to go through and see what I had to craft, but that just takes too long. It takes way too long.
Yeah.
I know I don't have enough dust for all of it. So
That's fair.
I'm just waiting until people tell me what cards are OP, and then I'll go and get those cards. I'll dust everything that changed. I don't know.
Yeah, you can get a lot of dust from the nerfs.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of dust to be had out there right now.
There were like 6 cards, I think, that were nerfed.
Double 12.
12? Okay. I knew it was something like that.
You were close. 50% of the way there. 50%.
I was halfway there.
Scared of
F
nerfing
minus
or
in the
dusting
American
cards.
grading system.
That's so nice. That's so nice.
Ugh.
Another thing that came along with the Old Gods is that standard and wild play is available now. Again, standard play is the last 2 years of cards. Is that right, John? And then wild is
the last
free for all.
Right. Yeah, it's not rolling 2 years. So basically in a year from basically today, the year that's 3 years ago and then on, expansions drop. So basically you only have the last 2 years of content on a non-rolling.
Right. So we'll have
I probably
the stuff,
convoluted that
we'll have
a little more.
We'll have the stuff from 2016 and 2015 essentially. Right?
Next year, yeah.
That's what we have now, and then next year they'll drop the 2015 stuff or however that works. So it rolls like that. So, but this is the year of the Kraken. So look out, everybody. I don't know. So have you guys, John, have you played both Wild and Standard? I know that it comes up and it says if you're playing Standard mode, guess what? You can't use these 6 decks that you have over here because they have like gnomes and goblin stuff and whatever.
Right. Which all my decks have Dr. Boom, so they're all wild decks right
Yes.
now.
Right.
They all have it.
It's
How
the
can you
worst
not?
card to lose.
How can you not have that? I don't know. I don't know.
I want them to change standard to where you can put one card from the old decks in there. Like you get to pick one.
Oh, just
so
one.
I can bring Dr. Boom.
Put a
with
Dr.
me.
Boom in there.
Yeah.
That's what it ends up being.
All right. Gotcha. Also, now the Khadgar stuff, was that just last week or is that still available and all of the proceeds are
I think that ended
April
on the
24th.
April 24th.
Yeah.
They had that all last week where Khadgar was coming and where they were donating all the proceeds to the WWF, not the WWE. Not the WWE, the WWF.
WWF.
World Wildlife Federation. So they did that last week. I'm sure it was a great success. But is Khadgar still out there available? Do you know?
No,
I don't think so.
It was a limited time hero iOS or Apple.
Yeah,
ecosystem
Apple. They had to buy
only
him on an Apple device.
Oh,
too.
that's right.
for like 9 days that it was out there.
Right.
And it's gone. And Blizzard has not said anything about bringing it back. So
And I
it
think
may never come back.
And I think for WoW players that have gone through all of the Warlord stuff, we've gotten plenty of Khadgar at this point.
Yeah.
If you don't have him in your Hearthstone, it's probably okay.
I bought him because I knew he was going to be exclusive. I knew that if you didn't log in those 10 days, you weren't going to get him.
Right.
And I wanted him, and he was only $5. And
you gave $5 to the
the Aminals, so
to the WWE.
Aminals.
You gave it to the Ultimate Warrior.
I gave it to Hollywood Hogan. That's WCW. That's a completely
Not doing this, guys. I'm not doing this.
As we start going to doing tombstone pile drivers and stuff, then we'll just have to end the show.
Right. No, that's going to be BlizzCon. We'll do that.
Oh, I'm not going to be there.
That's right.
I'll virtually pile drive you.
Oh, awesome.
I don't know.
Awesome.
And the show takes
that doesn't sound awful at all. All right. Big news from StaCraft 2, actually.
Yeah.
This is weird, and esports or esport. I think it might be French. Esport. The T is silent? No?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Esports.
Yeah.
StaCraft 2 Legends, Life and BB Young arrested for match fixing. This is kind of tough. So, what the actual thing, fellas? What's going on here? People are throwing matches, and making a lot more money throwing matches than they would actually do winning. It was what was it 6 times as much as he could have won for throwing games and losing? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't that mean though that they're just not paying the players paying the players enough? Because if there's that much money to be made outside of the game, and the companies that Blizzard is working with, these esports and gaming companies, aren't capitalizing on that, like that's a big problem in itself. Not saying it's right, it's wrong. You cheat, you fix games, you deserve to be, you should lose your winnings. You should be banned, or you should be arrested. I mean, it's the same as if you threw a baseball game, right?
Yeah,
and
sure.
so, people want esports to be seen as professional sports. Well, this is what happens when you cheat in professional sports. At the same time, it's, professional sports players are paid very well. Esports players are not, especially outside of what they win. Some make more than others, but I think there was an article, and it had more to do with Hearthstone and League of Legends, but like a sitting professional kind of middle tier kind of thing makes about $35,000 to $45,000 a year. So fine money, but outside of winning, not great.
Right.
And then when you're throwing these huge $1 million, $2 million tournaments, and there's still more to be made, well, then, I think we need to be smarter as esports organizations in how to make money and give it to the people who are bringing that in, so things like this doesn't happen.
Well, I think we know at least that the gambling around the game is going strong. So that's always nice. That's the silver lining, I think, fellas. Don't you?
Sure, why not? I mean, this is a big. I think it's just a huge deal because of how huge of a player wasn't Life like a 2-time world champion, 3-time, something like that. I mean, these were pretty big players in the game,
right?
But yeah, I think that absolutely they need to get banned from playing professionally. Blizzard should ban their accounts. They're just going to start another one up, but whatever. But just one of those.
Right.
I think that it has to be swift, it has to be severe, and it has to be ultimate. Without
the ultimate ban.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Ultimate. I don't know what
we were talking about the Ultimate Warrior earlier.
Yeah, there it was. That's where it came from. But yeah, and almost for me, it's almost puts a little bit more legitimacy into esports. I don't know if it takes legitimacy away. It's one of those things where this is big enough for people to put huge money into fixing games like boxing or baseball or any sport ever.
Right.
You know,
Gizmo,
and of course,
Gizmo is in chat right now, and he said
the Pete Rose hammer. I like it.
So,
but yeah,
don't get me started. Don't get me started, Gizmo.
And lifetime bans is, something that can be a very effective deterrent, I think, for players.
Life is now going to go by the name what is it? Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Shoeless Joe Jackson might be it, but
Right.
But yeah, it's one of those things. This has been around since competition has been a thing. I don't think it's something we can root out of the system. I think it's almost a sign of life for esports becoming
it's there. It's huge.
Big deal.
We already.
But
us nerds already know that it's huge. It's just
the
gamblers are out there, so that's good. That's good news. I don't know. That's all I got.
I mean, it's good news for the esports. It's good news for
bad
some
news
things,
for the players.
but it's bad news. Well, it is bad news for the players. It's not fair. But the thing is, if people are willing to put so much money into cheating, then this is a big deal. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
Sure.
Not that I'm not endorsing cheating.
No.
I'm not saying it's a good thing that people are cheating. What I am saying is it is a sign that the game as an esport has become such an important part of at least this culture,
right.
the nerd culture or whatever, that people are willing to get arrested for it. That's I don't know. It's an interesting thing.
The dude made $62,000 from 4 different folks to throw games where he could have made 12, something like that. So
sure.
I mean, that's ridiculous. If you're only making $12,000.
Well, yeah, and it does bring some stuff up. Like, we
gotta pay these guys.
Pay them more, and they won't be as tempted to do these sorts of things. But
right. Exactly. All right.
There you go.
I think that's enough on that. Anyway.
That is interesting, though. I mean,
it's very interesting,
and it's happy in a way, in a sick way. I'm like, yay, we're good enough to gamble on.
It's different. It's different news that I'm bringing you this week for the BattleNet news. All right, let's talk a little bit about Overwatch. The servers are now down. They are down. They have wound down as they get ready for next week for the big pre-launch, I guess. The soft open, I don't know what it is. The early access,
get access to the Overwatch soft open.
That's right.
On May 3rd.
It's the early access open next week. So the servers are down right now while they tweak the game and all that kind of good stuff. But there has been a lot of interesting things to keep us busy in the Overwatch realm, and I'm sure, John, that you've seen all these things and read the little comic with McCree in it and all that kind of stuff. We've seen Widowmaker video. We've seen a Winston video.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the McCree thing. Thoughts,
I haven't
John?
seen the McCree comic yet.
You haven't seen the McCree comic?
No, I'll have to look that up.
So sweet.
Oh, yeah.
So sweet.
It's good. It's about a train robbery.
Ooh.
The train is going fast.
Everyone loves a good
Spoiler.
train robbery.
Now that's when you play the thing during your spoilers.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. All right, that's enough of that.
It's a train robbery.
That's right. Okay. John, what do you think about it? I kind of like all this stuff that they're releasing right now because they're like, not only is it a hype train, which is always good, but we're getting these little glimpses into the makeup of this universe, more about these characters, more about all these different things. What are your thoughts on everything that they're doing right now?
I think it is absolutely amazing, and it's something that is maybe my favorite part about Overwatch, besides just getting to play.
Mm-hmm.
I come from, as we talked about earlier in the show, a Halo background, Halo 2, where you played on 8 maps. Everyone had the same things and the same characters and stuff, and that. I was totally happy with that amount of content. And so I love where Overwatch is as the game. Where I haven't been happy is getting to get the glimpses into the world. And in my opinion, this is the most... I love the World of Warcraft universe. I love the Diablo universe. But I've never been so just immediately grabbed by a story and a world created. Honestly, I can't really think of anything. And but Overwatch they've nailed that. They've really nailed it.
So cool.
And they're going to put Pixar out of business, number one.
Really.
That. And then they're going to buy Marvel.
I don't know if they can do that.
Okay,
they can put Pixar out of business, but Marvel, I don't know. I think that's its own thing.
But they're doing such a good job with this supplemental content that honestly, it might end up being a thing in and of its own. And I think that's really exciting. The shorts have been amazing. I cried during one twice.
You're not going to say which one?
I mean, it's the Winston one, right?
I was going to say, can I guess?
Come on.
That's
the one that peanut butter.
It's got to be.
It's the peanut butter, man.
Yeah.
The peanut butter, and then they're looking at the world and they're holding hands. And I just can't do it.
I can't even.
So just can't even.
It was
okay,
when you
guys.
pressed the button. I was like, yeah.
Don't put me on the big screen when I'm crying, Pat. Dang.
I'm sorry.
Dang, put it on Sharku.
Instead, we'll put up the salt video again.
The salty clam.
Tasting the salt of your tears.
Oh boy.
So yeah, so I think they're really knocking it out of the park. I hope that they can keep up with a release schedule like this, which they can't.
Mm-hmm.
But I think even like maybe 4 shorts a year and 2 or 3 comics, I think would be enough for me.
Man, I think they could do whatever they wanted to do, and I'd eat it up. I mean, it is so. The thing that I like about that universe is that it's so dang rich. It's like they built it up so well and so subtly and so kind of organically over the last year or whatever that they're just kind of releasing these little bits, and I just want more. I want more.
They're in their stride right now.
They've already Blizzard has already shown that they're willing to put money towards a feature film with a big movie making company, a big production company, a big name director. I don't see why they wouldn't be willing to, if it was successful, put money towards a TV series.
Oh, that'd be so great.
At least a web miniseries.
We know that they're doing Skylanders. They should be throwing this into the mix somewhere.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I could see that, but I secretly don't want any of that to happen, and I want a frickin' campaign mode. That's how I want. I want to play the story.
No, not the campaign
I don't want to
mode.
See the story. I want to play the story. It's a video game. I want to play it.
I don't know.
I want to play it. But I mean, I understand.
Do you have a boo button?
No, but the best that I have for that is I have crickets. I have crickets, but no, that's
you guys can disagree with me, but I would like to see all of it. I would love to see movies and TV shows. And I'm just a huge fan. I'm not a very good competitive shooter guy. I mean, I enjoy the game. I like playing the game, but what I really want to do is the same thing with StaCraft. The reason I buy StaCraft, every expansion that comes out, I never have played it competitively well. I think I've played 5 matches maybe. It doesn't really do it for me, but I love playing campaign mode. I love playing through the story. So there are different players out there, and I feel like there would absolutely be a market if Blizzard chose to write a campaign mode for Overwatch. I understand that's not what they're doing with it. Same thing with StarCraft. It is a PvP game.
Same thing with Heroes. They're not doing that either. So
Well, they already do that in all of the other games.
Supposedly, but not for the Overwatch characters.
The campaign mode for Hearthstone is Warcraft, and the campaign mode for Heroes is every other game that they encompass. But I mean, I get what you're saying. I think it's just me personally. That's something that I would really, really want. But yeah.
Well, and as a WoW player, we want it all. We want it now. We want it all. We want it now. Yeah. And otherwise, it's just salt. All right, that's it. I'm not going to play the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. And they also just put out a 3-part series. Well, it wasn't them, but GameSpot put out a 3-part series documentary. It's probably like, how long are those videos? Like 10, 20 minutes a piece?
Like 20 minutes a piece. Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. They went over the kind of how Titan failed, and Jeff Kaplan, who's the game director for Overwatch, he was a part of Titan, and he talks about that, and not about the game itself, but about what it was like to fail for a game. And So he talked about that. Actually, a lot of people talked about that. The second one was about building the world and the gameplay of it, and the third one was about building those characters and really great series. I don't know if you guys had anything specific to say on it, but I mean, it was just really cool.
Watch
really
it.
well done.
Go watch it. Was it GameSpot, right?
GameSpot, yeah.
Yep, GameSpot.
GameSpot made themselves relevant to me again. So
and I can't wait. I can't wait for the other three. I only saw the first one. I don't think the other two are released yet.
Oh no, they are. They are.
They're all
they?
out.
Okay.
They were all
Three
released
successive days.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I see. I thought there were weeks, and I didn't go back and check. So I'll have to watch the other two.
Yeah.
But the first one was really interesting.
Yeah, the first one was great. Second one was awesome. Third one was really, really good. I think the second one was my favorite when they were talking about how they
Me too.
built up the FPS thing from the 90s, from Doom and Quake and those things, and really tried to make it something special. So it was really.
We got to hear
fun.
about how big of a nerd Jeff Kaplan really is.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's a huge nerd.
Just
Holy
giant.
buckets.
Like, I did not know. He's like, oh yeah, I just did all these, huge amazing things in Doom, but and that was kind of a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like so humble about it, says it so nonchalantly, just freaking brilliant. I always respected Jeff Kaplan, but now I respect him, like him, and think he's a boss.
Now he is a brother. Before he was always pretty awesome, but now he is a brother. So
yep.
Real quick, Diablo, if you guys pre-purchased Overwatch, Mercy Wings are now available. They have been for a little while now, but you can go find them. Also, season 6 is coming on Friday. Season 6.
So another game that I'm not going to be playing way too much. I'm never sleeping again.
You're not?
No, I will.
Oh,
I will definitely be playing. I've gotten somebody up to 70 every season.
Okay,
and I'll play for like 3 weeks until I get my full set, and then I will stop playing.
Okay, so what are you going to go through for season 6, Shark?
I think I might go with a barb. I've never really committed to a barbarian. I've always tried to get one up, but I've never like really committed to one. A lot of times though, I just kind of see what's OP and I roll that. I like being OP.
I've always just gone
one or
monk.
two classes that are like, this is just the easiest thing ever.
I've always just gone monk and just been like, you know what? This is my thing. This is what I'm doing. But I think I might change it up. But I have to play melee because I can't play. I just can't play range in Diablo.
This last season, Crusader was the way to go because last season their new thing was you got a free set basically by doing these little achievements. And the free set for Crusader was probably the best one. And so it was really easy to get your set piece and be super OP early. It didn't take you very long, so a lot of people were doing that. I did that. I had a lot of fun with that. But anyway, we'll see what happens with season 6.
Good. And then the other thing is for Heroes of the Storm, we have Tracer. She's in Heroes of the Storm now. She's been out for a week. And guys, I know that you guys probably play some Heroes. Some anyway.
Friday nights.
Yeah, Friday nights for drinking and swearing. We played a lot of Heroes. That was fun. John was all up in my grill.
I'm really good at pestering Pat in video games.
Yes.
It's basically my
He's
not
great at video games, but he's great at bugging the crap out of me.
Not at all.
It's good. It's good fun. Shark, you're probably the guy who plays the most heroes around here. So what do you think about Tracer?
I played a little bit of Tracer. She's not my hero. I tend to lean towards the warriors for at least my role on Adults with Jobs. I really do enjoy her though. I think right now if people have not figured out how to counter her,
she's quick.
Li Ming is not the answer. So don't go that route.
No.
But there definitely are. She's very. If you can land a stun on her, she dies. That's the long and the short of it. The trick is landing the stun. But if you can get one, she dies. So that can be a very. If you're struggling with tracers, take a Muradin or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
She's a lot of fun. She's Retrofunk's favorite hero. He normally plays healer, and he's been trying to on the Adults with Jobs. pawn healer off to somebody else so he can play some carry with Tracer.
Nice.
He is a lot of fun. And having an ultimate at level 1 is just kind of nuts. So I believe that there will be a nerf in a couple weeks, if not a week.
Right.
There will be a balance patch where she'll get nerfed down a little bit, which has happened the last couple new heroes that have come out too strong. I don't even know if I'd say she's too strong, though. I don't like nerfing.
I don't think she's too strong because I think she doesn't have enough health to be too strong.
Right. I think people just haven't figured out how to figure out. But at the same time, her movement is incredible. By far the best movement hero. Like the way that, Illidan gets annoying because him jumping around all over the place. He gets annoying, hard to stun, hard to hit, can't hit skill shots. Tracer's even worse. And she can attack on the move, which Illidan can't.
Right. Well,
he has to get to you and swipe at you. Tracer can just be running at range and all day long shooting at you as long as she takes that second to reload.
Right. And for the guys that don't know about what Tracer can do in Heroes, she has a blink that she has a three. She can do that 3 times, right? A melee recall, which is always awesome. The pulse bomb, which is available right away, and she reloads and she fires while moving, like we said. The quick tip that Kalani gave me from I think it was when we were doing that drinking and swearing thing. He said to use the quick action options for her blink. So when you're moving, you just automatically blink, because otherwise you'll hit the Q key and then there will be this arrow and then you got to click again and then it's kind of weird, right? Yeah. So
in my opinion, you should do it on every hero, but yeah, definitely with her blink.
Every hero?
Oh yeah, I always have quick cast on.
All right.
Always.
Okay. Cool.
That's just it takes a while. It takes a while to get used to. But once you do, I think it's easier to hit skill shots. It's easier to use your abilities once you're used to playing with quick cast. But it does take a while to get used to. For me, it's sort of like clicking in WoW for me. Mm-hmm. I did a lot of clicking before I learned that that's a slow way to play.
Yeah.
And then when I started getting used to my keybinds and my new mouse and all sorts of stuff, I improved a lot, but it took a while to get used to.
Sure. Anything else in the Battle.net news that you guys want to talk about? Anything at all? Anything else happening that we didn't cover? Because I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Every game.
I know.
This is like a 3-hour show. I feel like.
It's only an hour and a half right now.
All right, not too bad.
No, it's not bad.
That's not bad at all. So we'll call it here, but thank you guys so much for coming out, and we'll play this music. There we go. And any shout outs today, fellas? We'll start with John, our esteemed guest.
Yes. First.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you first for having me on the show. This is
our
really
pleasure.
Fun and awesome.
Yeah.
And by the way, there we go.
Yeah.
Congratulations, or something.
I made it.
We made it all the way through without any tech difficulties. Oh wait, we're not all the way through yet.
You've made it with Derry's favorite co-host, me. So that's
it's true.
Wow.
This is the easy one. The other guys are not so much fun. If you come back, you won't have nearly as much fun. I can guarantee it. Tobo's straight up.
Thanks. Thanks. That feels
Don't
great.
disparage the other hosts. All right.
But yeah, just shout out to my friends on the other podcast, Kevin, JR, and Jimmy, for hanging out and doing a podcast with me, because that's been great.
Where can we find your other podcasts, sir?
Oh, yeah. Well Met is on iTunes under Well Met, and it's at hearthstone.blizzpro.com. And the Payload is on Payload. And you can also find it at overwatch.blizzpro.com if you want to check those things out.
Good. And you just started something this week.
Yeah,
right?
this is a really exciting thing for me. I just launched it yesterday, but I've been doing a lot of content creation and a lot of new things recently. And so I've actually launched my own Patreon. And so it's at patreon.com/kickedtripod. If you guys watch my streams or my shows, you should check it out. If not, whatever.
Awesome. Well, good luck to you on that.
Thanks.
Really do wish you the best. Shark, you got anything? Any shout outs?
Yeah, I got a couple shout outs. I want to shout out to a couple of my friends in game, Critic, Rhino, Fazil, and Thaco with a TH. They helped me out with an achievement I needed, the Impale achievement in Gundrak, where you got to sit there and wait for the boss to impale you.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody on the team. And it took like 15 minutes. It was the worst.
Oh, boy.
And Taco kept getting impaled because he's bad. But I wanted to give a shout out to those guys. We had a lot of fun. They helped me out, and thanks a lot for that. And I got a mount. I got my red Proto Drake or whatever mount.
Hey, congratulations on that one.
I'm kind of done. Yep, lots of fun. So thanks, guys.
Nice work.
Yeah.
And we ended up with the music actually timing out, so I'm going to just go and jump into the jazzy music here. And I want to thank you guys out there for always listening to us, wherever you are. It doesn't even matter. At home, in the car, all that kind of good stuff. And so thank you guys for taking us with you wherever you go. Thank you, chat room, as always. Other shows that I do, just in case you don't know, Case of the Mondays with Jewel Scott. I do that on Mondays because it's a Case of the Mondays where we have weird stuff, strange news, amazing independent music. If you like music, it's a show to listen to. Plus drinking and swearing with a bunch of rascals like John. Thank you, John.
Yeah, baby dolls.
Thank you, John, for trolling me at all times.
Shark, why you're losing your hair.
Shark, you even showed up.
I show up every now and again. I don't think I was here last week, but I try to. Once we move, I'll be able to show up more often.
Awesome. And you guys can show up too, and we can play games and have fun and relax and drink and swear if you want. That's fine. We cannot actually do this show without you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thanks for the questions and feedback that we got this week, some of which we couldn't get to because the show was really long. But please feel free to jump in on the conversation anytime. You can email us at convertraid@gmail.com. You can call us and leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. You can follow us on Twitter at convertraid, or even individually. Isn't that right, Shark?
Yeah, you can follow Pat Crane at Pat Crane with a K.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow Darius in a hospital bed.
He's not in a hospital bed.
No, he's at Bored Mind.
Got a little
you
soccer
can follow
injury.
His soccer injury, concussion.
Yeah.
You can follow me at Sharku_CTR. And you can follow John at Kicked Tripod. Anywhere else, John, that we can follow you?
I'm like Kick Tripod everything. So twitch.tv/Kick Tripod. YouTube.com/Kick Tripod. It's everything.
All right.
Awesome.
Nice and easy.
Awesome. Well, Discord is a thing we use. Come join us, discord.convertraid.com. You can join the Bazooba Guabo Nation by heading over to convertraid.com, where we have show downloads, forums, videos, audios, tons of links for raiders, and so much more. Guild stuff, too, at convertraid.com. For the live shows, you can head over to convertraid.com/live. And we are also on iTunes and all other places on the internet. We stream on alphageekradio.com sometimes. We do. The Convert Trade podcast is produced and distributed by Signals Media. Make sure to check out all of our friends. Please do at the Signals Media All-Star Network at signalsmedia.com. That is going to be it for the show. Finally, we're done. We're going to turn off the lights any minute now.
Yay!
Not quite yet. Not quite yet. We're just going to roll the salty clam right now.
Through the jazzy music loop again.
That's gonna be it for the show, though. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Until then, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.